Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Jerry Unscripted. This is the little piece of video we do where I get to rant about something for 5 minutes. Today, it's going to be about the drug approval process that the government has been involved with private companies working to find a solution and a vaccine for this COVID-19. And I saw an article today that I tweeted about talking about the government had working together with private business had come up with this drug Remdesivir, I believe is the name of it. The point of this drug, it is one that was created by Gilead scientists, and they came up with it in near record time. It was originally one for Ebola, and them and the government worked together. The government bypassed a lot of their rules and regulations. Anybody that doesn't know, typically to bring a drug to market takes clinical trials. It's a long, lengthy, multiple-year process, hundreds of millions of dollars involved in doing it. And seeing this and seeing how quickly it was brought to market in 4 or 5 weeks, it made me think about cancer. It made me think about the reasons why cancer we haven't made bigger strides looking for that cure for cancer. And so I tweeted out that I think, imagine what we could do if the government was out of the way and everybody was so incentivized, if only cancer killed more people than COVID-19. Clearly, tongue-in-cheek. COVID-19 has killed 50-odd thousand people, and as we know, cancer, I think in the United States alone, kills about 600,000 people. And so cancer is the great killer right there with heart disease. How do we fix that? And I thought, all of the technology is there, and if we did these giant moonshots trying to fix cancer, I was talking about this a year and a half ago when my father-in-law died from pancreatic cancer, and we put the kind of emphasis on it that we are on COVID-19, I could only imagine what we could come up with. At the time when I said that, I had no idea about COVID-19, and clearly that's turning out to be true. Now, why the hypocrisy of trying to deal with a drug or trying to deal with a disease that's only killed so many people relative to one that's been around forever and kills literally just millions of people? This is the problem. The government won't get out of the way. The government won't give up power. Does anybody think that if we cure COVID-19 in the next month, and that means that we cured it in 8 weeks, does anybody think that once the cure comes out and COVID goes away, that the government's not going to go right back to what they were doing, slowing the process down, over-regulating everything, and making sure they're a part of the process? Of course they are. Here's what I think we should do. Get the government out of it. They can oversee it, that's fine, but get them out of it for the most part. And let's incentivize corporations, pharmaceutical companies, to go in there and find an answer. Have it be funded by the government. So let the government come in with the money. And here's the thing. The cost would be tremendous, but it still would be insignificant relative to the cost of people dying every year and what it costs to medically take care of them. Let the businesses have the money. Let the businesses come up with whatever fix they get. So if they find a cure for cancer, they're rich forever. Everybody knows who they are, and they're trillionaires. Great. And you and I pay for it as taxpayers. Maybe we make them pay us back whatever it is we gave them. But the government putting that incentive in there, getting out of the way, and giving up the money to do the research is what will bring people into it in a much more cohesive manner. The government can direct it. They just have to stay out of it. And with computing power today, particularly computers that can go through all of the data and I'm drawing a blank, particularly artificial intelligence, like what you get from IBM. We all know the computer can win at Jeopardy, and that's 10 years ago. Today, what it does very well is it brings along disparate pieces of information and puts it together in a way that a human being can look at. There's something like 1,700 pages of study that comes out every single day that there's just no way anybody can read all that, but maybe inherently in all of those pieces is the answer, and artificial intelligence can be a tool that can be used to find those problems. Jerry, cancer always changes left and right, and nobody knows what kind of cancer today is. It's going to look different tomorrow. Great. That's fine. You're right. And maybe the technology hasn't been invented yet, but properly incentivized, I think that people, corporations in particular, but people specifically, can come up with that answer. I get thrown at me that the reason they don't do it is because treating cancer is so valuable. because all of these companies are incentivized to treat cancer and their billion-dollar sales. And to that I say, you just don't understand how capitalism works. Because I don't care if you think that all of these cancer companies that have the cancer treatments are all sitting around the fire in the middle of the woods and they've all got their little horns on and they're chanting around in circle as they're screwing you and I by turning out their treatments. If you don't think one of them dudes inside that circle are thinking about how to cure cancer so that they go down in history, you don't know how the process works. So I don't care how much somebody makes, how much some group is making. There's always going to be one person, and probably every single person in that group, that wants to come up with the answer on their own and will do so if properly incentivized and if they thought they could do it. There'll be a trillionaire overnight. I'm fairly certain they'd be the first trillionaire ever, and also their name would go down in history with all of the great researchers who have come up with the fixes for the myriad of things that have chased us throughout our lives. So really what kills all of us. So that's what I would like to see happen. Let's put the same effort that we have put into for COVID into curing a much bigger and more brutal disease that is cancer. Get the government behind it, but get them out of it. Incentivize private business to fix it. And whoever finds the answer to it, let them keep it.